Hey there, YouTube. So, we had a good run. It's been fun, boys and girls. So, in no way am I excited to make this video. It's actually really disappointing that that I even that I even that this even happened. So if you don't know, if you've lived under a rock for the past 3 years, and this is exclusively for the United States of America. In 2015, the FCC created some rules and regulations regarding net neutrality. So it was basically protecting us, the consumers, as protecting us as a consumer from the internet service providers. It kept them from censoring websites and such things on the internet like that. It kept them from censoring stuff like that. It kept them from making a paid prioritization as to where certain websites could spend money to have their websites accessed more easily than other websites and such things as that. So fast forward to today, December 14th of 2017. This morning they voted on the repealing of net neutrality, and the vote went 3-2 in favor of repealing net neutrality. So what does that mean? Well, it means quite a few things. So those rules and regulations that they had protecting us, the consumer, from companies censoring websites, completely blocking some websites, making you have to pay extra to view certain websites or to browse certain websites or to stream YouTube, Netflix, Hulu, whatever. Those rules and regulations are repealed. They're gone as of today. So that makes me concerned. Definitely concerned, because ISPs, big companies, AT&T, Verizon, Comcast, all these big companies that provide internet to millions of Americans, have basically lobbied their way into a position where they can do whatever they want. And yes, you can say, oh, if you don't like something they're doing, you can always go with a different provider. That's not available to some people. Some people are in areas where there's one provider and that is it. And that's scary, because these giant corporations, and they have nothing stopping them. Yes, a lot of them said, oh, nothing's going to change. We're not going to change any of our services, anything like that. I don't believe that at all. I just don't. And that may be me just seeing the bad side and big companies, maybe it is. But that's how I feel. I'm not optimistic about this at all, and it's unfortunate because the people in power are more worried about being bought and bribed and swayed a certain direction than they care more about that than the people they have power over and what they think and what they say, because you can look all over every square of the internet and you will see complete and utter hatred of the repealing of net neutrality. Absolute hatred. You will see that everywhere. It's just unfortunate that the people in power that make this decision, which 5 people making that decision seems a little weak, I feel like that should not have been a decision made by 5 people. Because it's insane that it even was an issue. And there was stuff that I was reading saying, those were just guidelines. It doesn't even matter that they got rid of the guidelines. They were just guidelines. Nobody even really paid attention to them, blah, 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 blah. Okay, if they were guidelines and nobody paid attention to them, then why the push to get rid of them? Like, if they're guidelines and they're not even that big a deal, then why even want to push to get rid of them? That's what really makes me worried. Obviously, people are very upset about this, and I'm not saying, me making this video is going to change the world and get net neutrality back and all this. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just putting out my thoughts and my opinions, and in America I'm entitled to that. So it's unfortunate, man. It really does suck. It's like they made comments in the discussion or before the vote. They discussed the topic and everything before they voted on it, obviously. And there was discussion like there's not enough competition in the market, and that repealing these laws and everything will incentivize companies to increase their network and grow their network and spread out their network and reach more people. No. They may spread out their network and increase their network and everything like this, but they're going to make us pay for it. They're 100%. They're not going to eat that. They're not going to eat that bullet. Nope. They'll pass that on to us, and we'll be forced to pay more for whatever. And I realize this video is really downer and everything like that, and I'm just sounding like, it's the end of the world and everything, and the internet's dead and everything. And it may not be that to that extreme. Obviously, the internet will keep going. It'll still be a thing, but it's not going to be the same. And obviously this isn't the end of the discussion or the issue. Net neutrality, I'm sure, is not going to be dead. I'm sure we're not going to take this sitting down. I know that I'm going to try to do as much as I can within my life personally to fight back and made my voice heard and everything like that, and that's partially why I'm making this video, is just so I can get my voice out there, you know. But it's just like, why are those people, it's like, it's just really unfortunate that those people that have power can be bought so easily. And that's 100% what it is, and I guarantee you it is not. Like, if you watch the video or watch the live stream of the vote and the discussion and everything, like, there's no way. The people that voted yes to repeal net neutrality had no freaking clue what they were doing. Like, they had no idea. And if they did, then they should have voted no. They should have voted to keep net neutrality, because if they know what they were doing, there's not an upside to this. I don't see. I may be wrong. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm, you know, it's just, it's unfortunate. I know. I'm sorry. I'm getting all political and whatever, and I don't want to make that my channel or make that part of what the content that I create and stuff like that. But this is an issue that's important to a lot of people, and it's just like, it's not like, oh, you have to pay more for your internet. It could get really bad to where you have to pay to freaking see anything. Like, it may not go to that extreme, but there's a chance. Like, they've been given the ability to do that. That's the problem, is like, they've been given that ability to do that. And it's, like I said, it's not the end of the issue. It's not the end of the fight. I'm sure this is not going to go quietly, and we're not just going to sit down and take this. I'll leave a link in the description. It's a link to the Reddit announcement page thing for the net neutrality vote, and it's got information on it and stuff you guys can do, and you can read about it and get yourself educated. And there's things you can do, you know, emails, phone calls, text, stuff like that. There's stuff you can do to help out some organizations that are trying to fight back against this. There's some organizations that are grouping up to file a lawsuit against the FCC to get them to reinstate the net neutrality, and I hope they do that. And if you're one of those people that are a part of that, please, thank you very much for fighting to get this back, because I'm scared of what they can do. I don't know what they will do, and my hope is that they don't do anything. The ISPs, the internet service providers, my hope is that they do nothing. I hope they don't change their services. I hope they don't charge you for anything. I hope they don't block websites. They don't censor anything. I hope they just pretend like nothing happened. And I hope for that, but I foresee things changing, and not for the better. I don't see them changing for the better at all, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope in all things that I'm like, I completely hope that I'm wrong about this, and if I am, thank God. Like, it's just like, I don't get super crazy about politics, but this is something that hits home for me. And in today's society, how can it not? Like, today's society, everyone's connected. Grandma's connected. Great grandma's connected. Like, great grandpa, everybody is connected to the internet in some form. It reaches every corner of the world right now. Like it affects so many people. And yeah, I know it sounds like, oh, whatever, oh, they're like, I'm freaking out and everything, but like, it hits home for me, man. It's it's in my country, my home country, you know. It's legislation, or well, I mean, it's the removing of regulation and stuff like that that kept us safe as the consumers against the ISPs. And I know that sounds bad, like we're fighting in a war or something, but it's not really a fight. It's just the ISP shouldn't be able to choose what we view when we view it and how much we pay to view it. That's the thing that freaks me out. Like, yeah, I know they need to make money to keep their business alive, whatever, but there's a certain point where you're just making extra money to put in your pocket, and you're not giving it back. You know, there's a certain point where you're charging way too much and you're not given nearly an equal amount of value. You're taking more than what you're giving back. And that's my worry, man, is that it's just gonna that they're gonna just keep taking and we're gonna get less and less. Um so yeah. Like I said, I'll leave a link to the uh Reddit post or whatever that's got all the information you need to know, um, and what you can do. I mean, like I said, myself personally, I'm gonna email and call and like do what I can within my life to fight this, because it's concerning, man. It is. It's freaking ridiculous. Like, yeah, and I'll, if I can find the video clip or whatever of the actual vote and discussion and everything, I'll link that too in the description. But like, check that out, because it's appalling how much how easily they were just bought. And to the two people that voted no, thank you, thank you, um, because they did the best they could. I mean, I'm sure that they did all that they could. They made it blatantly apparent that we were not okay with this as the consumers. They made it blatantly apparent. They had two freaking uh, like the accordion folder things full of emails and letters and stuff like that that said no, no, no to all of this. That said just no to the repealing of net neutrality, and they brought those in. And I mean, they laid all their cards out on the table, and other people just were bought, man. They were bought, and that was all they were worried about. They were so easily bought. I don't know. It's insane. It's concerning, you know. Oh, well, yeah, like I said, this was not a video I wanted to make, nor was I happy to make. It's really just unfortunate that vote went the way it did. They've had two or three other times that uh, they've put stuff or put out the possibility that they were going to repeal net neutrality. Then that's for ever since they freaking initially put in the rules and regulations for net neutrality. From the very beginning, when they put that in, there was people saying, "Oh, they want to repeal it" and stuff like that. And there were articles all over, and there were a bunch of scares. But like, those scares have become real as of today. It's insane. Well, yeah, I mean, and yeah, my hope is that this goes beyond the FCC, and there's a federal law put in place by Congress that guarantees net neutrality, and that's all. I mean, that's the best case scenario, because then at that point it becomes a lot more difficult to have that repealed, if it becomes federal regulation, federal law, put in place by Congress. So I would assume that's probably our best scenario that we got going for us. So yeah, check out those links in the description, and hope you guys enjoy Christmas coming up. I'm really worried about where we're going to be going from now on.